Hello Capricorn friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my Capricorn exclusive for Capricorn eyes only astrology report for March 2026. We will look at important dates in the month and spots from the perspective of aspects and events. You may want to have a pen and paper and jot some things down. If you don't have access to that, just go in another window right now to anniehelpsyou.com, click on Unleash to access or get your free star report and for March, and that will not only list all the dates that I'm going to talk about, but will also go into all of the sweet, all of the salty aspects of the month, so you know the best, the worst, the ugly, and all of the details there. But I'm going to give you a lot in this report. If you want the written version, you can click Unleash at anniehelpsyou.com to grab that star report. Okay, so this is for you if Capricorn is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or any other Cap placement you're listening for. What I'm going to talk about here is part of your astrological picture. If you're a very late degree Capricorn friend, so 23 degree placements through the rest of the sign, or January 15th birthdays through the rest of the sign, I suggest you additionally listen to my Aquarius report, as your very late degree friends will benefit from both readings. Okay, so I'm excited to do this report for you because I have my moon in Capricorn, I have my Venus in Capricorn, so all the stuff I'm reading for you all is also going to be for me, and that's always fun. So we're going to get to experience some of the softer sides of life this month as we have a massive amount of energy in Pisces. Mars will get there soon in the month, transiting North Node, the Sun, Pallas Athena, Mercury in retrograde, and Venus. Mercury is going to retrograde from 22 degrees back to 8 degrees of Pisces, and the new moon at 28 degrees of Pisces is on March 18th. So all of that energy in Pisces is really, really strong. Now, fortunately for Earth placements like Cappies, the water signs flow well with you. Earth and water are an elemental pair astrologically, and there is a nice sort of flow here. It is a little bit of a different way of looking through life, through a water lens, compared to our very practical, organized, kind of down to business Capricorn way of doing things. So as I said, this softer side of life, the intuitive side, that feeling that you have that may not look good on paper, but you know it in your heart, those heart connections that you have with other people, the emotional resonances that you have, all of that's going to be really strong this month. And there are going to be a lot of opportunities involving love and money and self-esteem that will bring that softer side of you out. All right, so once you get your to-do lists done, hopefully you can make rooms for some artistry, for some poetry, for some of the fantastical, because this is a time when synchronicity is very, 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 very loud. So the language of spirit is synchronicity, and information will come to you in some ways that are not as, I'll say, grounded in the day-to-day mundane experience as you usually may get your information, So you may have a dream that is really important. You may have information come to you through some other way, or again, it's like it's a feeling side, okay? So you're going to be feeling your way through a lot of this month. There's also going to be a lot of social interaction because Pisces for Capricorn lights up the third house of Gemini, and Gemini is a very social energy. So a lot of chances to connect emotionally with people important to you, a lot of relatives coming up as possibilities, cousins, aunts, uncles, the parents and kids sector of our, standard family energetic is going to be awakened as Jupiter wakes up on March 10th after a 4-month slumber. So in general, home, family, housing, real estate, and also the 7th house of relationships going to be reawakening after going to sleep towards the end of 2025. So some things that may have been progressing at that time in home and family or housing or within important relationships may have been dialed back. Enthusiasm may have been dialed back. Forward motion may have been dialed back. But now, this month, everything's waking up in a big way, and you're going to have a lot of opportunities to connect with people in very meaningful and very fulfilling ways. There is a lot of intensity this month, however, because we do have this eclipse. All right, so if you have been listening to my January and February reports, then you know that eclipse season really started in January. Information, news, events of possibly very dramatic, very permanent, long-term, non-negotiable things going on from two sets of eclipses. We've got a Leo Aquarius eclipse cycle that began in February. I talk about that more in the January and February report, but just to remember that that is echoing into March as well. So that line of energy of changes, is going to be occurring at the same time as this March 3rd, 12-degree Virgo full moon lunar eclipse, which is moving along this cycle from the end of 2024 into the first part of 2027. Every 6 months, we've got this welling up of information, of experiences, of events that have to do very much with Capricorn learning and teaching, taking information in and putting it out, broadening Capricorn's horizons, and either getting educated to advance and excel in the line of work you're in now, or you may be making some sort of complete different trajectory shift into a different career or a different area of focus. Now, I'm going to say career because this can absolutely be money-based. For many people, it will be financial, it will be career-oriented. But for those of you for whom have hobbies, if you have hobbies, or if you are retired and you don't need to work, or just as an aside, maybe you haven't established your work career yet, this can very much have to do with life purpose education. Things that you've always wanted to study. Let's say, when you were a teenager, you wanted to be a veterinarian and you got dissuaded somehow. And now, you're retiring and you want to do stuff with animals and you're studying about them. Or, this is very life affirming, a passion affirming, path affirming type of education. So many Cappies are in a cycle with this 2024 to 2027 timeframe where education and information is very, very relevant. Some Cappies may be taking their information out, so you may be starting teaching. And if you are, you may be preparing to do that at this time. April 10th and after, for some time here is going to be a better launch period because we've got a Mercury retrograde cycle that really doesn't clear out until April 10th. So if you're making some plans now, you may be ready for your April launch, which would be one of the best times of the whole year for something like that if you're launching a school or a course. Or you may, again, just be studying just because it's a hobby, because it's fun for you, because you're enjoying it. But this whole cycle from 2024 to 2027 is about expanding your horizons and is about taking in information and putting out information in ways that are fulfilling for you. And that's where this eclipse is going to be, is in the 9th house. This can also in the 9th house, it has to do with this, broader teaching, learning, college, or any other type of studies. This can have to do with international business or training. It could have to do with different languages. It could have to do with an international move, or it can have to do with immigration, something like that, or temporary or permanent. So all of these are big topics that are coming up for Capricorn at this time. If you're a Cappy that wants to write a book or publish a book, this is an amazing cycle for this because the 9th house is ruled by Sagittarius. Capricorn has Virgo there, but it doesn't take away the fact that innately the 9th house is the publishing house. So, you may be making plans to start publishing or do something along the lines, in those realms. Let's talk about the Mercury retrograde cycle to better understand this month. So February 12th, we started Mercury pre-shadow to the retrograde. That's when it starts thinking about going retrograde and it starts diving into the retrograde process. That time until February 26th, when the official retrograde starts, we just get deeper and deeper into this inward and backward type of energy, more reflective than proactive is the key here. It's retrograde until March 20th when it goes officially direct, but it will take until April 10th to kind of fully recover from that, Mercury hangover, more or less, where things can get more clear. Now, the fact that Jupiter is waking up and we're going to be moving towards Aries transits and, placements at, as the month progresses, we're going to have a very different picture at the end of March than we did at the beginning. That's when Aries, the action-oriented energetic, is going to start really being very, very dominating in the astrological storyline. Now, while the Aries energy doesn't necessarily flow as well elementally for Capricorn, it does speak the language of Capricorn in the way that it's a cardinal sign. Capricorn is also a cardinal sign. So these are the initiatory signs for the seasons, Aries, Capricorn, Cancer, and Virgo. Actually, I'm sorry, and Libra. Those are our cardinal seasonal, new season beginning energies. And that's how it feels. It's very initiatory. It begins, it's proactive. So it will speak, as the planets move into Aries, these Pisces planets will move along there. It's going to kind of take out a little bit of the resonance that those water planets have with you elementally, but it is going to speak the language of getting stuff done, moving forward, making progress. And love, romance, relationships, and money are going to be very central this month because Venus is going to be featured in a lot of these aspects. So as Venus moves into Aries, it's going to make conjunctions with Neptune, Saturn, Chiron, and all of this is going to activate your, decision making and your forward movement. And this is going to coincide with Jupiter going direct. You'll be feeling that. It's like starting to become this snowball now, getting stronger. Mercury is direct, then the 20th, it's building, growing, and you'll be ready, to jump. The nature of eclipse energy is such that they tend to deliver their information over time, even if there's one big event. What may happen from that event or what may, occur for you because of that event is kind of often unknown at first. And so there are going to be a lot of unknowns this month where information comes in, but you don't know what it means. So you may need the full month to kind of see where things are going. But Jupiter waking up, the eclipse activating, and Mercury getting out of its retrograde is all going to see this movement over the course of the month towards what it is you're supposed to do, and it may take that time to get all the information to be able to make the decisions. Now you can think back to 2015 to 2017 and 2006 to 2008. That's when this eclipse cycle happened last. And look at, was education prominent? Did you start teaching? Did you start blogging? Did you, make a different movement for your studies or your career? Did you have an international event of some sort? So you may see that those themes that are going to be coming back up now that have to do with information systems, how did that manifest in those periods of time? Now, if something bad happened in those periods of time, it doesn't mean that will happen again because we do have a lot of different stars compared to then. But there is some sort of cycle, with the information and the education and how you communicate with other people and how you get your point across, how you're heard and how you hear other people. So all of that is going to be coming back around. Now, something else very, very important specifically for Capricorn is that as the planets move into Aries and as Venus makes all of these conjunctions with these outer planets, which actually will be Neptune, Saturn, Chiron, Eris, and then Ceres, Venus is going to sort of blow through all of these. This centers around home and family for you. So I mentioned before, as Jupiter is waking up in the sign of Cancer, which rules the fourth house, it is Capricorn's fourth house that's lit up by Aries transits. So home and family, important things, financial decisions are going to be very likely to come up at this time. And if it's a very important decision, you may really want to wait to make your final decisions until the energy is more clear after April 10th. Because, let's say there's a distribution of money. Let's say there's a divorce. Let's say there's, something where you have to tend to something financial and it also has to do with a relationship. You're probably not going to be seeing as clearly, until this energy sort of progresses a bit. And then that open window for making those big decisions is April 10th through June 13th. That's the time we have free from personal planet retrogrades and their shadow periods. And this period of time is going to be of critical importance because we will have a Venus retrograde at the end of the year. And that's going to make things very murky in some ways. So, if you are ready to bring your project out, you're kind of, March is getting you into the time where you're going to do that. But it might not be the actual month to do it, just because, again, you may need more information. So if you want to buy a house, sell a house, if there's something very clearly in the flow, and, then jump on it. But, the timing is going to continue to get better as March goes on and you get into April for making big decisions. I like that. If you resonate with my work, please subscribe, click like, and if you want the written star report that I talked about, the March report, then you can go to anniehelpsyou.com and put your name and email address in there. Just click on Unleash and put your info there. And in the welcome letter, it will give you instructions on how to get that monthly sweet and salty date report. If you want to see personalized reports for the outer planets, the ones that move slowly but bring major themes for your chart, go to Annie B. Clarity, Annie, the letter B, clarity.com. And if you want to learn astrology with me, if you resonate with how I teach and you want to learn, either to help you and your family and your friends or to do it professionally, I have an astrology certification course that you can check out at beastropro.com, beastropro.com. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.